I will say that I think it's interesting that it's become this iconic figure of town.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, I mean, everything from, town logos, this is pretty old, but I mean, the town logo, the chamber logo, everybody's logo was the Indian.
And 12 years ago?
Yeah. And that's only just recently started to change as the downtown has undergone a revitalization. It underwent a branding process where groups all got together to talk about our assets and our impressions of Skowhegan and our area, and everybody agreed that we are more than about the Indian and that we needed to move beyond this iconic association to it. So there are efforts to move in a new direction with a brand, and yet there are folks that don't want to give it up either. They really feel like
interesting. So
what
is the kind of new branding that you put forward?
It was a three-pronged approach. I have all the materials. I could actually send you the brand statement.
Wow, we'd love to hear that.
It culminated in a statement and a look and a palette of colors and all these things. But it was more about where we are people of the land. We are using the land. We're about the land. We're about using our hands. We're a hard-working people. So the heritage here is shoemaking and broom making and paper making and farming and art, and so it has to do with handcraft and work. And then the other is that we are about the river, and that is a unique asset here, and we celebrate that and want to celebrate that more. So we have an artist in town, probably several, but one in particular that does a lot of wood block cut prints. And so the consultants that worked with us on branding felt like the wood block cut was pretty representative of these features of handmade and hand done. Now I live here in town, and I have a neighbor, or I used to have a neighbor, she doesn't live there anymore, who is a native Mi'kmaq Indian. And she was quite vocal with me on a number of occasions about the Indian, and thought that we were disgracing the cultures that were here by ignoring it and not taking care of it. And why don't you take care of that? She looks so sad. She kept saying, she looks so sad. And for a while was trying. She lives on a reservation in Nova Scotia. Came down here to work off the reservation, so she would live 7 days on the reservation, 7 days down here working at a nursing home. And so she would do this route, which was 8 or 9 hours each way. So anyway, just felt like it was disgraceful that we weren't taking care of it.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say is just I was involved in some of the more recent conversations about the revitalization of the piece as a piece of art, and we got the committee off the ground, and then I stepped out so that I didn't need another project to be involved in. But we brought up one of the state's cultural tourism experts to talk about how to appropriately manage the piece.
Right.
She was part of doing a public art inventory. So Abby Levin from the state had been a part of inventorying public art pieces all over the state and documenting their significance and how old they were and things like that, and in a publication. And her advice about how we care for it was just simply that Langley gave it to you, the community of Skowhegan. It's yours to do with what you want to, and different communities will take care of art in different ways. So you get the responsibility of taking care of it in your unique way. Hey, Abby!
How are you? And how do you think the Indian restoration project's going to fit into all of this, and what do you think it's going to do once it's restored? Just your imagination of what you think is going to happen, or is nothing going to happen?
I don't know. For me, it is symbolic of cleaning up and taking care of your responsibilities.
Right.
For me, that's very personal. I think I think the degradation of infrastructure in a downtown is demoralizing and depressing. And so I think just to clean up, take care of what we have, be proud of what we have, is symbolic in a lot of ways.
Sure. But do you think it'll ever come back as a mascot of the town? Or do you think the town has moved beyond that?
I suspect we're moving beyond mascot, but I think it deserves again, this is a personal opinion, but I think it deserves a place as a piece of public art that we care for. There's all kinds of symbols in art that we may have moved beyond in ideology, but that are still significant.
So does the town know a lot about, say, Banana Play?
I would say not broadly. I think there's pockets of in-depth understanding of who he was and the significance, but not broadly. When I first moved here, I was always really surprised to be visiting family in the Midwest, and when you say you're from Skowhegan, the first thing they say is, oh, that's where that really famous art school is, right?
Yeah.
Like, they know the art school before they know the area. They don't even know what part of Maine. So in a more cultured area, people have heard of that, or they may know that you have significant artists that have passed through here, but the local community is perhaps not always as well aware. I do. Honestly, I didn't know where it was, and I knew that it was here somewhere. And my husband was living here before I moved here, and we drove over, and he said, "It's right there. It's there. Like, it's right." And you can kind of see it between the trees.
And what did you think?
It's pretty. It's magnificent. It's pretty significant. It's around. It's impressive, and I work pretty closely with the same contractor that is preparing to restore the Indian who did this project. So just understanding that thing is 4 stories high, and he's the one that took the arm and the weir off to go start working on securing that, and just to realize its size when it's down on the ground, it is amazing.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to the restoration that's going to happen next summer.
Yeah.
Like the scaffolding.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
That spectacle of it.
Yeah. We're energized to get more pieces here in town.
Oh, yeah.
I think having some more of those pieces in a grouping would be nice for display and to kind of tie the relevance of even the Indian together. And that is a uniquely difficult piece to care for because it's so tall and so hard to get to. But many of the other pieces are more approachable.
Right.
So.
But can you tell us how downtown area has changed over the last 10 years?
Yeah, in 2005, this community was designated as a Main Street community, and the Main Street approach is a nationally recognized approach for revitalizing your downtown. And essentially, it's a program of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. So it comes with some external supports around how to get organized within your community to focus on issues of revitalization, and it's a 4-point approach where you work on design elements, you work on promotions and festivals and things like that, you work on economic development, and you work on sort of forming an organization and looking after the resources of an organization that will attend to your revitalization. So it's a 4-pronged. So I've been involved with that since the inception in 2005, and it is, by design, it is to bring the town together with business owners, together with citizens, and there's a role for everyone to play on committees and in the work. So it's not just an economic development council, it's not just a business association, it is really designed to pull people together for a common cause. So it's they often describe the first few years of the Main Street designation as being a real catalytic phase. You're getting organized, you're sort of pulling people's stories out, you're discussing your assets and what are the difficult things about your community that people say, and how do you turn the image of your place around, and that kind of stuff. So a lot of that is now water under the bridge, and I would say we're at a pretty kind of get to work phase of those efforts now. The organization affords a full-time executive director. There's a well-established working board of directors, well-established committees now, so it's a little bit easier to plug resources and people into those efforts. And so downtown looks a lot different. I mean, since that all got started, there's new sewer lines, which you can't see, that allow downtown buildings to actually be revitalized. There's new sidewalks, new street lights, new facades. Money came in to help business owners fix up exterior parts of their facades. There have been a couple of, I would say, major projects that have taken place to really bring back resources. This being one of them.
This renovation dates from when?
This was an old jail that we purchased in 2009. And then this fellow has put a lot of time and energy into revitalizing a historic theater and expanding it.
What about this building right here?
True to the period. That's a former hotel that used to be right on the rail line here. The rail line is no longer. It just got purchased, and they're trying to reopen a restaurant and bar on the other side, on the first floor.
And what happens to the rest of the building?
I think the upstairs floors are condemned right now because the building is not sprinkled. There's an asbestos issue inside, and it's not handicap accessible.
Okay.
Another one of there is a business owner downtown that is a new entrepreneur selling new and used children's clothing, and they've purchased a building that they're putting a lot of effort into fixing up. So some of the buildings have been purchased with some initial steps to start taking care of it. And I'm really impressed, who knows, there was a fundraising effort that happened maybe 10 years ago through the Chamber of Commerce to start affording a restoration, and they didn't raise enough money to complete it, so some of the immediate emergency work got taken care of, but then there's been this account lingering until they could raise more money. So what's happening right now is sort of the final push to say, let's do it, let's raise everything we need, and let's get it done. And so I was really surprised that 10 years later we've had as much support as we needed in town to get one particular piece funded. Some foundations came forward with funding, but the town approved $10,000 through taxation, essentially, at town meeting. And I was really surprised by that.
For taxation, for the restoration?
Just recently, like in this final push to raise money, the committee, you'll meet Margie Brown, she'll probably be here later, but she's chairing the committee to raise the funds and get it done. And they had a challenge grant. They had a grantor that was willing to match monies raised by the town at town meeting, and so they got enough signatures to get it on the warrant to have it go before the voters of Skowhegan to donate $10,000 toward the final push to check.
Wow.
And it was nearly unanimous. It was
Wow.
Wow.
yeah. And to get things funded by taxation is
It's really hard.
really hard in a small community like this that struggles. So
So
they really had to build a case that it was a one-time. We're not coming back every year to ask for money. This is not like we're not going to come back and ask you to fund a maintenance fund. This is, we've never come to the town asking for support to fix up this thing that we've used as our symbol for it. It's time to take care of it,
Yeah. And people felt for that? Or
Yeah.
Is it more out of nostalgia or the interest of public art? Or where do you think people's interest lies? We'll get started with you.
No, I would say it's more out of nostalgia and its iconic significance, and less so about its importance as public art. Because I don't think the same. It'd be hard to pitch an argument for more publicly funded art in town. I would think that would be a difficult sell around here. Privately funded public art, fine. Publicly funded, not. And part of it is not when there's so many other urgent needs. Not when there's so many families on public assistance and people foreclosing on their homes and not enough money to do roads and.
Well, it's exciting to hear that they're doing work to it, or they're coming up with funds to do work to it. I think it's more of like a pride thing. We were the Skowhegan Indians. I played sports in high school, and kind of that's why it means something to me. The sculpture itself is an icon of it's it's been here forever, and people come to see it on the tour buses when they come through. And
Really?
yeah, and but in terms of how it's kind of related to me, it's just that's our mascot in high school.
In high school?
Yeah.
What sport did you play?
Softball.
And was there something special that you did?
I was a pitcher. Yeah. We were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a long time ago. I think I just had my 10-year reunion. Wow. But there's a lot of good athletics. Skowhegan field hockey has won like 1 million state championships. Good coaching, good athletes.
And they're all called Skowhegan Indians?
All Indians, yep. And there's a lot of pride in that, a lot of pride in the sports in town. So, yeah.
But was there like a chant you had?
There's a lot of chants, yeah. And some of them I don't think are very politically appropriate now, but it wasn't. It was only meant for good fun, only meant for sort of being excited and proud to be from Skowhegan. So, but yeah, there's lots of chants.
You remember one?
Basketball had the most. They had this whole cheering section for the basketball games. I'm trying to think if I remember any. Not off the top of my, it's been so long, but they had lots of songs that they would come up with,
And was it somehow related to the Indian or?
Yeah, always. Yeah, always. And dance moves,
Oh wow!
Yeah, they were pretty into it.
Do you think
the
you
fans
have videos of these or recordings of these?
If you went to the high school, oh yeah, definitely, and pictures and I think for a while there they were trying to actually remove the Indian as sort of the mascot because it was derogatory, the actual image, and but I think everyone was supporting it was just like, this is the Skowhegan Indians, this is the mascot of our town. It's in no way, shape or form trying to make fun of anyone or anything. It's more just being proud of being from this area. So I think they kept it, but yeah, I don't remember. I think that was a couple of years ago.
Do you remember when you first saw the Skowhegan Indians?
Yeah, when I was about a year old.
You were a year old? Do you remember what you saw? Did you like it? Yeah?
What did you think when you saw it?
I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah? Now, do you think it looks really cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to draw it for us? Would you like to draw the Indians? Yeah? Have you been in town for long?
She's lived here all her life, but I've been here since I was, I think I was 2.
2? Wow. And do you remember the first time you saw the Skowhegan Indians?
Not really, because it's always been here. You know, it's always. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Too long, I don't remember.
What was this area like like when you were a kid growing up?
It's changed a lot. It was. I don't know. You felt safe walking down the streets. You know, you could leave your doors unlocked. You didn't have to worry about anybody walking in on them. You know, it was just a safe place to be. I don't know what compared to now. It's a lot different. 'Cause, you know, kids didn't hang out on the streets. They, you know, I don't know. They were more interested in doing things like gardening and all that versus fights, drugs. You know. Bless you.
And yet, but what do you think about all this effort that has been put into kind of rejuvenating the area, renovating, and now restoring the Indian? Yeah, also.
I think it's good. I think it's hopefully it will bring back some businesses in this area for these guys when they grow up. Oh, downtown's changed a lot compared to what it used to be.
What was it like when you were in school?
Down on the Rotary, it was more businesses. Like we had a Woolworths, and you know, you could go walk around in Woolworths and not worry about somebody following you thinking you were stealing stuff, because back then you didn't. Now it's like every time you walk in the store, everybody looks at you like, well, what are you going to steal today? You know, it's just different. I don't know.
Are there lots of surveillance cameras in Skowhegan?
Yes.
Yes.
More than 1,000.
More than 1,000.
I doubt that, Kate.
Really? Do you feel threatened by them?
Not really.
Not really. No.
Because I've been really watched all my life by my mom and dad. Ow.
But like, how do you think of the Indian as a mascot for Skowhegan at all?
Has been ever since when I was in school.
Yeah.
That was our mascot, and I really hope that they can keep it. Just represents a lot of people here. I don't know.
What? Because they are threatening to change the mascot? Ah, yeah. Why?
Yeah, because they say it's prejudiced against Indians. So, I don't know. I think they should just leave things alone. Huh, Kate?
Do you think there's gonna? Do you know what the renovation of the Indian at all?
Did you hear of like they had like this whole fundraising campaign to try to restore the Indian, and it kind of have been dragging on for a long time. You heard about this, or like?
Yeah.
Because for the moment we only spoke to like experts who know everything about it, and we want to know like really what do people here
think about the sculpture?
I think it's great. You know, I think that they should restore it. It's just been a symbol of Skowhegan since I've been here, and I've been here 38, 40 years. So, I don't know. Hurry up, Kate. Come on.
Do you think the restoration is going to change downtown a bit? No?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No. I hope it does, but bring more businesses in. But I don't know.
Beautiful.
Oh wow, that's great. Do you think the Indian is a man or a woman?
It has hair, so it has really long hair. So man and men and women have really long hair, but I think it's a girl.
You think it's a girl? Yeah. Yeah. Do you like what she's wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this like? Is this kind of? Have you ever climbed up the Indian?
No.
No. Did people ever do that?
They did, but they're not supposed to.
Really?
It's just a decoration, really. It's not.
It could fall anytime if someone's up on it.
Yeah. And did they, like when you were in school, did people have any events around the area and around the Indian?
No. That's in the summertime. In the summertime, it's just that's where all the buses used to meet for camps. Swimming, when you go to, swimming camps and stuff like that. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you. Bye.
Bye-bye. What did you think when you finally saw it?
I thought it was cool, but maybe not quite as cool as all I had heard about it. Like it wasn't like necessarily worth all the people talking about it.
And what would people say?
Oh, just like talking about like basically that it was like getting restored, and it's just like oh yeah, and there's the Indian like right in town, the Indian. That's kind of what people were like. They just talked about it.
Oh, that's great.
What are you guys doing?
Have you seen the Skowhegan Indian?
No,
No.
No, you haven't?
so it's like 80 degrees.
Do you know what it looks like? Have you seen this guy?
Well, yeah, I've seen it before.
You've seen it before? And, like, what do you think about it?
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool? Yeah? Would you like to draw it out for us?
I'm not a very good drawer.
You're not? You're not a very good drawer?
No, thanks.
Thank you.
I think everyone in town, all the Grammies and Grampies and woodshop, should all make like wooden fish on springs, and then have the Indian used to have like this big I think nets and stuff. He was waiting for the this salmon, in the river. That was his original thing, and I think the town should have like a big salmon and fish on springs, and you could have a parade winding around in town and then go into that fish. I wonder if it would break into like a big smile, maybe, if it could look out on all these wooden salmons bobbing around.
Wow.
Kind of like magic art.
That would be really nice.
That would be beautiful.
Wouldn't
that would
it?
be great, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you suggest it to the...
Yeah, I've been trying to get that going for a few years. It's kind of hard around, but I guess maybe they're embarrassed that they kind of got rid of all the fish or something. In reality, I don't know what the angle is.
How long have you lived in Skowhegan long?
Oh, quite a few years.
Yeah.
30 years, something like that. Well, around, I live up in Solon, really.
And do you remember the first time you saw the Skowhegan Indian sculpture?
Oh, I do. It was, it's monumental, and I always love, like, it's huge. You don't usually see, like, giant folk art. It reminds me of folk art styling and stuff, and, it's just very impressive and really colorful addition. I think he wanted to put it in the river originally, like, just embedded in the river. Of course, it probably would have been destroyed. There's been some floods and stuff, so it's better.
Did you know Bernard Langlais?
or no?
No, I didn't.
But do you think the restoration is going to change anything in downtown, in Skowhegan?
I don't know. I hope they get more of his sculptures. They're trying to do that, working on that. You know, the artists they push in Maine. I don't know. I think he's so far above a lot of them. You know, I don't want to bad rap anyone on the thing,
But
but
why do you think he's? What do you like about Banano's sculpture?
it's fun. And, you know, it has humor in it. I think a lot of the art around doesn't really have any humor at all. I think that's one of the best ways of really relating to people. You know, I think sometimes art kind of intimidates them. You know, you go in a gallery or something, it seems almost like you're very removed from that sometimes. You know, I don't know.
Do you think the Skowhegan Indian sculpture has humor in it?
It has, well, actually, it has kind of humor and pathos, I guess, you know, too, in a way, like for something kind of gone, a time gone by. But, you know, I don't know, it really isn't one of the more humorous ones he did, you know. Well, I should probably get moving. It's this little guy.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. Are you having a great year up in Skowhegan?
Yeah,
Where do you
yeah.
usually live?
I live in India.